So hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So here I've come up with another correlated query question. So you can take the screenshot of the context if you want. I will just go through the problem statement. So just keep that in mind that correlated queries are very important. And now I will read the problem statement. Write a query to display the details of the employee who joined the company before their manager joined the company. So in this I have only one table, employees table, like there is no manager table, and in employee table itself I have the detail of the manager, like the manager ID. And keep that in mind that manager is also an employee, so manager ID and employee ID can be same also. That's something to remember, like that's basically a logical thing, but still I'm saying that to you so that you will not forget that. Got it. So now I will go through the problem statement. So here we need to write a query to display the details of the employee who joined the company before their manager joined the company. And we have to return the columns employee ID, first name and last name, and we have to return the result order by employee ID in the ascending order. So now I will first use the employees table for that. So from employees as EMP. So we have in correlated query, we if we are using the same table, so basically like usually we use the same table in correlated query always. So what I'll do is like I will give different alias to the table name so that my query like SQL can identify that which table it is taking. So I will write from employees as EMP. Got it. So what is the condition? So we have solved many SQL questions till now, so we know that we always start from writing from clause, where clause, and all the condition, and in the end we write select statement. So first we will focus on the logic. So what was the requirement? Detail of the employee who joined the company before their managers joined the company. Got it? Where emp dot, what are the columns we have? So I think we have to consider the date for that. So where emp dot employee where emp dot hire date. Got it. So where that who joined their company before their manager joined the company. So where emp dot hire date, like the hire date of the particular employer which we are taking. So where emp dot hire date should be less than the hiring date of their respective manager. Got it? Like for example, we are considering a particular employee ID 193, and what's the manager ID for employee ID 193? That is 123. So what is the hiring date for employee ID 193? That is 1997 3rd of March. And what is the hiring date for employee ID 123? So it is not given. So let's just take one pair for with the employee ID and the hire date is given in the example. What we can take? 198, 197. It is not given, but we can assume that that would be somewhere in the rows. So where emp dot hire date is less than the hiring date of the employee, the manager of the respective employee. So from for table which we want to take to get the employee, to get the hiring date of the particular manager. So I will use the employees table here. So from employees as emp1, from employees as emp1, where emp1 dot manager underscore id, where emp1 dot manager id would be equal to emp dot that particular employee which we are taking, emp dot employee underscore id. Got it? And now I will write here select emp1 dot hire date. Got it. Now above I have to write all the columns, so select emp dot employee id, first name and last name, employee id, emp dot first underscore name, comma emp dot last underscore name. Order by employee id, so I will write order by employee id, so order by 1. Got it. Now I will just use the submit clause to see the output. So output is wrong. Why it is wrong? Subquery is returning more than one row. So because we are taking employee ID, employee emp1 dot manager ID is equals to emp dot employee ID. That's the same thing I think we have done with the previous question of correlated queries, right or wrong? Let me see that, where emp dot department id equals to emp, oh sorry, yeah, this was the wrong one which I was showing you. So where emp1 dot department id equals to emp dot department id. Oh, I have not used the less than sign, I think. Have I used? Yeah, I've used. So why is it returning more than one rows? That we need to see. So here we can see that the manager ID is not the primary key, and employee ID is the primary key here. And in the previous problem we have seen that uh, in the previous problem, so for this, like previous problem of correlated queries, if you will go through all the videos on my playlist, so in this we can see that employee ID was the primary key and department ID was not. So where emp dot department id equals to sorry, I'm checking the wrong one. So where emp1 dot department id equals to oh, I have taken the wrong thing, right? emp1 dot department id equals to emp dot department id, and what I have done here is something wrong, I think. So we are taking the employees from the employee table, where emp1 dot manager id equals to emp dot manager id. How could be the employee id is equals to manager id? That's logically also wrong. The employee can like, I cannot be the manager of myself, right? So where emp1 dot manager id equals to emp dot manager underscore id. Now I will use the submit button to see that whether I am right or wrong. I think now it will give the correct output, where emp1 dot manager id equals to still it is returning more than one row. But why? Here emp dot hire date, the like the hiring date of that employee is less than the hiring date of, where I'm going wrong here. So emp dot hire date is less than, select emp1 dot employee id, where emp1 dot employee id equals to emp dot manager id. So here it is something different. Just a second. Sorry for the pause, everyone. So we are here seeing that from the employee as even, where emp1 dot employee id equals to emp dot manager id. The employee id is equals to the manager id. So we have to in the select emp1 dot hire date, that hire date should be of the manager. So where employee id is equals to the manager id. And what we have done in the previous problem, what we have done is, and where emp1 dot department id equals to emp dot department id, because here we were calculating the average salary of that like department. Got it? So here what we are doing is, like whatever employee we are taking on, like respective to their department id we are taking. Got it? For example, you can imagine like I have a row in which I have employee ID as 101, department ID as department ID as 201, and salary as 10,000. So for example, I'm taking that row where employee ID is 101, uh, department ID is 201, and salary is 10,000. So for that particular employee id like for example, we have so many rows and we are on the first row only. So like where emp1 dot salaries, so here what will happen is, where emp1 dot department id is equals to emp dot department id, so that would be 201 in that case, because we are taking the first row only, right, in which I have the like values like 101, 10,000, and 201. Got it? So similarly, like imagine this, like our employee manager problem like this only, and then try to understand what was my problem. So yeah, so for example, imagine I have a table in which I have employee like 101, and hire date is, for example, 25th October, and employee ID is and manager ID is 201. Got it? So we have a table like that. So for example, we are considering the first row, and in the first row we are taking the employee ID 101. So how will I and like we have another row in which I have the hiring date of the particular manager id. So for the first row, the manager id was 201. So for example, we have another row in the table in which I have like manager like in which in the employee column I have manager id as 201, and the hiring date would be 25th of November. And for that particular manager, there is also some manager id, because the manager would have another manager in the hierarchy level also. So for example, like suppose that would be 301. So yeah, so from here we can conclude that for example, if we are taking the first row, so where emp1 dot hire date, so that would be 25th of October, and again we are taking the same table, so where emp1 dot manager id should be equal to what, where emp1 dot manager id should be equal to the because we are emp1 dot emp1. So for this select clause also, I need to since manager is also an employee, so first I have to write employee id here. So where emp1 dot employee id is equals to, I will show you on the board also, emp dot manager id, that would be the correct. If you have not explained by my if you have not understood by my explanation, then I'll show you on the board also, because that is something which is a little bit complicated. So now I'll push the submit button only to show you the output. I think that now it will be correct. Yeah, it is correct. Now let me just explain you guys what I was saying. Like what was the different? Maybe you have not understood by my explanation. I have got it, but now I got to explain you. Let's like divide this into like two columns. Just a second. Let's go to this. Yeah, let me divide this. For example, first I am considering the department question. Got it? So for this question, for example, I have a table in which I have 101 as my employee. So and like department ID would be 2 0 and then 1. Sorry for the handwriting. And the salary is 10,000. And this was a simple problem, and that was something which is a little bit tricky. So in this I have recorded like this. Got it? And in this I have 101 as employee ID, and like for example 25th October was my 25th October is my like joining date of this employee. Got it? And the manager ID is 10 is 201. Now this particular manager is also an employee. So for example, let's suppose like at any arbitrary point I have another row for which this manager ID is employee ID, and that it's so like his joining date is 25th of November. And let's assume that this manager also has a manager, and who has the manager ID is 201. Now I'm going to explain you. Now you will understand it. For example, like we are on the first row. Like this is how SQL checks, like first row, second row, and third row. And for that for particular first row, we are let me just show you. Yeah. Yeah, so that particular first row where emp1 dot salary is less than the uh, average salary of the department. So here emp1 dot salary was 10,000. Got it? So 10,000 is less than average salary, where emp dot department id is equals to emp dot department id, because we have to calculate the average salary of this particular department. So according to, like, consider this as a single table only. Consider this as single query, like forgot this previous one. This is a simple query in which we are calculating the average salary. So here we are seeing the employee table, and in this employee table we are taking the department ID as what? Department ID as 201. And simply basically what like just forgot about this previous query. Please like remove that from your mind and just focus on this only. So here we are taking an employee table in which our department ID is what? 201. And like for a particular department ID is 201, we are just simply calculating the average salary. Like we have an employee table, and we have our department ID is 201, and for this particular ID, like there are so many roles also present in this table, and like they have also some salaries like 20K and all that. So for that particular 201, it is calculating the average salary. This is simple question. Now we will come to this one. So what is happening in that? This is a little bit tricky. So for example, I am on this first row 101. So what we have done here is, so where emp dot hire date. So what is the emp dot hire date for this 101? 25th October. And now just forgot the previous query and just focus on this. So here we are, what we are taking is, we are taking the employee table, and in employee table what we want is, we want to get the hiring date of this 201 employee, right? Because we have got the hiring date of the employee, we want the hiring date of manager. So what I will do is, like, how can I get the hiring date of this manager? So like, first this query has executed, like this query was in the output from this one. Got it? So like, this was currently in the output. So now what I want is, I want to calculate the hiring date of I want to calculate the hiring date of 201 employee. So 201 employee is present in the manager id column. So what I will do is, I will write is, where employee table dot employee id is equals to employee table dot manager id. Got it? Now I think you have understood, where employee dot employee id equals to employee dot manager id. Got it? So this was a difference, because here it was simple here, because here we have to calculate the average salary, and here, like, employer manager, since they are linked, that's why we need to think a little bit. But just consider the first in the output, and like, forgot the previous query, and then simply write the second query. Yeah, that's all for today. We will, no worries if you have still not understood, we will solve more correlated query like question in another videos. Thanks for watching the video. Please like, share, subscribe and comment on my channel. Thanks.